तो सर आप जब नेपाल से पहली बार ऑस्ट्रेलिया आए
हाँ।
1992 में, तो नेपाल में आप क्या करते थे उस टाइम पे?
नेपाल में आई वाज वर्किंग एज ए चीफ रिसर्च साइंटिस्ट। वहाँ पे हमारा एक एकेडमी है, रॉयल नेपाल एकेडमी ऑफ साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी। सो आई यूज्ड टू बी वर्किंग देयर, आई यूज्ड टू वर्क देयर एज ए चीफ साइंटिस्ट ऑफ सेंट्रल रिसर्च लेबोरेटरी।
तो आपने बोला कि आपने 2 बुक्स लिखी हैं जो हमारे पास यहाँ पे पड़ी हैं, तो इसकी थोड़ी सी बताएं कि इसका रीज़न क्या था और किसके बारे में है ये बुक्स?
So we realized people are going through the mental challenges. So we thought we'll write a book. Not only on mental health, we realized that mental health is a secondary thing. Firstly, आपका emotional well-being is very important.
एक आपने लेटेस्ट चीज़ स्टार्ट किया कॉल्ड अमोन, तो हम चाहते हैं कि आप थोड़ा सा उसके बारे में बताएं। डॉक्टर राजू अधिकारी जी, पहले तो आपका वेलकम है हमारे पॉडकास्ट में सक्सेस वीज़ा के। मैं सीधी आपसे बात पूछता हूँ, आप ऑस्ट्रेलिया कब आए थे?
I came around in 1992 actually as a student.
स्टूडेंट वीज़ा पे आए थे, उसके बाद आपने बोला कि एक बार आप आए थे, उसके बाद दोबारा चले गए थे, फिर दोबारा आए थे, वो क्या स्टोरी थी?
1992 में मैं पोस्ट डॉक करने के लिए आया था। I came to CSIRO as a postdoc. And after 2 years, I think there was no funding, so I got another scholarship going to Germany. तो जर्मनी में मैं रहा। तो while I was in Germany, I got a job offer from Australia, same place CSIRO. So I came here with a job in 1995.
तो फिर जो 1995 में जॉब के साथ दोबारा फिर स्टूडेंट वीज़ा पे आए थे कि वर्क वीज़ा पे?
With the work as a permanent resident.
हाँ, सीधा परमानेंट रेजिडेंसी, तो आपको 1995 में
Yeah.
मिल चुकी थी।
Yeah.
तो आज की बात करें, अभी आई थिंक 30 साल हो चुके हैं जब से आप दोबारा परमानेंट रेजिडेंट हो, तो क्या आपकी चेंजेस आई हैं लाइफ में तब से लेके अभी तक?
Personally, बहुत changes आई हैं। I've got my family here. My daughter is a doctor now. She's practicing GP. My son is working in a chemical industry. It's been a very fruitful, very enjoyable, very meaningful journey. Last 35 years, look back.
तो जब आप पहली बार यहाँ पे 1995 में पी आ रहे तो आप सिंगल थे, उसके बाद आपकी शादी हुई,
नहीं, I was already married.
यू आर ऑलरेडी मैरिड।
Yeah.
तो सर आप जब नेपाल से पहली बार ऑस्ट्रेलिया आए
Yeah.
1992 में, तो नेपाल में आप क्या करते थे उस टाइम पे?
नेपाल में I was working as a chief research scientist. वहाँ पे हमारा एक एकेडमी है, रॉयल नेपाल एकेडमी ऑफ साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी। So I used to be working there. I used to work there as a chief scientist of Central Research Laboratory.
तो फिर ऐसा क्या रीज़न था कि आप वो इतनी अच्छी जॉब छोड़ के यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट वीज़ा पे आए 1992 में?
उस टाइम I think it's unfortunate that Nepal was going through political transformation. तो उस टाइम आपने सुना होगा कि king was overthrown and became a ceremonial king. So there was a change in the political landscape. So the academy was affected by that change. So academy partially closed down for some time.
ओके।
And due to change in vice chancellor position and academic position, we were frustrated. As a young scientist, we could not see that academy closed down. So we thought we'll try outside.
तो इसलिए आप वहाँ पे ऑस्ट्रेलिया आए, तो उसके बाद आपने दोबारा मुड़ के नहीं देखा उस जगह को, मतलब दोबारा आपने ज्वाइन करने का नहीं सोचा जब वो दोबारा रीऑपरेशन में आई?
No, it was joined because I got such a beautiful offer here, and the CSIRO is the highest apex federal funded research organization. So I continued to keep relationship and work in project, but I didn't physically go.
ओके, पर आप अपनी मेंटोरशिप को कैरी ऑन रख रहे हो
हाँ।
ताकि ओके, तो पर फिजिकली आप यहाँ पे हो, तो जब यहाँ पे हम बेसिकली करते क्या हो, काम क्या है उसमें?
मेरा काम रिसर्च है। आई एम अ रिसर्च साइंटिस्ट। CSIRO में मेरे को 30 years हो गया है काम करते हुए, एंड आई ऑल्सो होल्ड एन एडजंक्ट पोजीशन एट RMIT एज ए प्रोफेसर। सो माय प्रोफेशन इज a research. So I am involved in doing frontline research in the area of biomedical.
बायोमेडिकल में?
Yeah,
ठीक
and
है।
conducting polymer, all kind of polymers for different application.
तो डॉक्टर साहब, CSIRO आपने बताया, इसका थोड़ा बताएंगे कि ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन करती क्या उनके लिए जिनको नहीं पता है इस चीज़ के लिए?
CSIRO ऑस्ट्रेलिया में, इसको हम कॉमनवेल्थ साइंटिफिक इंडस्ट्रियल रिसर्च ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कहते हैं। इट इज सिमिलर टू CSIR इन इंडिया, काउंसिल ऑफ साइंटिफिक इंडस्ट्रियल रिसर्च। ये फेडरल गवर्नमेंट का हाईएस्ट साइंस एपेक्स बॉडी है, and they work in every areas of science and technology, and fully funded by federal government. They also have their earning through the royalty, patent, and everything. But it's an organization which is an iconic Organization of Science and Technology in Australia. So if you say someone CSRO, everyone knows. It's a household name.
तो काइंड ऑफ कहना का मतलब ये गलत नहीं होगा अगर जैसे नासा यूएसए में है तो ऐसे सीएसआरओ ऑस्ट्रेलिया में
हम सही
है
कहा।
ऑडियंस के लिए। तो डॉक्टर साहब इसमें 30 साल हो गए आपको काम करते हुए, उनके साथ साथ ही आप ग्रो करे हो बेसिकली। तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में क्या चेंज आपको सबसे बड़ी दिखी जो 30 साल पहले नहीं थी या आज की डेट में है?
पहले जब मैं आया था, आई थिंक अर्ली डेज द माइग्रेंट्स पॉपुलेशंस वर वेरी स्मॉल. Even in organizations like CSRO or universities, may students and professors, they were very few in numbers. But over the years, the migrant communities, migrations, they are now, you can see many of the organizations would have a lot of migrants, highly qualified professionals, from IT, IIT in India, or engineering backgrounds, or medical backgrounds, or research backgrounds. You can see them, they are working in now lot of premier organizations Australia. पहले ऐसा कुछ नहीं था. पहले there were very few handful of people working in these organizations.
जब आप आए थे उस टाइम में नेपाल से कोई था काम करने वाला, इंडिया से या पाकिस्तान से कोई?
CSIRO में नेपाल से शायद I was the first one.
You were the first one. So you have that honor to represent Nepal as the first person working for CSRO.
Yeah, I think so.
ठीक है। तो सर आपको ये चीज़ जैसे आपने बोला कि आप फर्स्ट पर्सन से हम अच्छा तो लगता है पर उसके बाद रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी तो बहुत आती होगी यार मैं फर्स्ट हूँ तो मेक श्योर करें मैं एक एग्जांपल ऐसे सेट करूँ अपनी कम्युनिटी के लिए जो लोग मेरे को फॉलो कर रहे हैं। तो आपको एग्जांपल सेट करना तो हम बोलते ईजी है पर उसको सेट करने में जो एफर्ट्स लगते हैं उसके बारे में कुछ चैलेंजेस के बारे में बात करना चाहोगे? क्योंकि ऐसा तो है नहीं कि 30 साल की जर्नी एक स्मूथ रही है, कभी चैलेंज अप्स एंड डाउन्स भी तो आए होंगे।
Definitely, I think आपने बहुत अच्छा प्रश्न किया. There are two aspects of it. One is mentoring in my profession as an academic, and one mentoring outside in the community where students are, here and doing their studies. So in my professional profession as a mentor, I supervise many PhD students in collaboration with RMITs. So whenever we were supervising, we were hiring any overseas students from India or Nepal, we could connect to them, their problems, and then we could see their aspirations. So as a mentor, we were helping them to settle in their career in Australia. And also, fortunately, in CSRO, I was very lucky because I was involved into 2 or 3 projects which were commercially very successful. So I was the co-inventor of 2 startup company in Australia, in CSRO, and one is in Dockland, still working, and one is gone overseas. So that success story made us very in the limelight. And we got several patents and we got a few awards from CSRO medals. So people looked at us and saying that, people from these backgrounds, they're also being recognized. So they started connecting to us and we started connecting to them. Wherever there was an opportunity, I always look outside in the academic or even within CSRO, newly recruited staff on contract. So they always look to us and we, because of our backgrounds and confidence over the years, we thought we are very deeply connected and we started mentoring them very early. So it was a great opportunity for us to connect to migrant community working in CSRO to look to us, and we also looking to them to help them in the area. Or similar in the university when we were supervising, we always told them what's the way forward. If you're wanting to settle in Australia, what is the career path in academy? What are the processes? So what should you be doing to be successful?
तो जो आपने बोला कि आपने जो स्टार्टअप किए थे तो वो किस चीज़ के रिगार्डिंग थे? सेम साइंस फील्ड में, बायोटेक्नोलॉजी फील्ड में थे या डिफरेंट थे उससे?
No, this was purely in biomedical field. I think we developed few polymers, family of polymers, and there were 2 startup company, and they are now used heavily in biomedical applications. Several millions people are using our polymer. So I can give you an example. the pacemaker जो आप लगाते हैं
Body में
उसमें,
लगता है।
हाँ उसमें एक वायरिंग होता है, तो उस वायरिंग का कोटिंग जो है पॉलीमर का होता है
अच्छा।
कि you can't put the naked wire. So we do a coating and that coating is made of our polymer. And also आपका burn जब full thickness 80% burn हो जाता है तो you need a temporizing matrix. So cell grow करने के लिए you need a polymer. So our product is used
So you do provide that.
commercially, and only recently a month ago in India, in Hyderabad, I think Indian government approved one of our polymer for use for in the heart valve application.
कंग्रेचुलेशन डॉक्टर साहब, एक बहुत बड़ी अचीवमेंट है ये। सुनने में कितना अच्छा लगता है, इसके पीछे की उतनी स्टोरी और नॉलेज होना बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी होता है, वो आपके एक्सपीरियंस से और आपके नॉलेज से दिख रही है। तो आपने बोला कि आप एक तो CSR के लिए काम करते हैं, एक और आपने RMIT यूनिवर्सिटी के बारे में बताया, तो उसके बारे में थोड़ी सी बात कर लेते हो कि उसमें आप करते क्या हो बेसिकली?
RMIT में मेरा एडजंक्ट पोजीशन है, so we were, when I was in CSRO, we were working very closely with RMIT in some projects through our colleagues. So over the years, when you develop relationship, when RMIT needs our expertise or anyone's expertise, they look hiring them. So because I was in CSRO, so I couldn't leave to join RMIT. So they offer you an adjunct position.
Okay.
So in adjunct position, you work together in projects, and then you supervise PhD students. So it's a very convenient relationship. If you want to collaborate with the university and CSRO, adjunct position offers you that advantage.
ये तो डॉक्टर साहब ये आपकी अचीवमेंट CSR के लिए और RMIT के लिए जो आपकी खुद का एक बिजनेस स्टार्ट किया, इसके बाद आपने बोला कि आपने 2 बुक्स लिखी हैं जो हमारे पास यहाँ पे पड़ी हैं। तो इसकी थोड़ी-सी बताएँ कि इसका रीज़न क्या था और किसके बारे में है ये बुक्स?
I talked about my professional life, but I was fortunate कि as a migrant when I came, I got involved into community work. So I was the first founding president of the Nepalese Association in Australia, which is called Nepali Association of Victoria. So while and over the years I established several organizations. And during my leadership role in the community, wearing different hats, I realized that the migrant community's intake is increasing in Australia, and there are more and more migrants coming, and they are facing more and more challenges.
Correct.
So as a community leader, I worked into various areas. Initially, it was more unity and celebrating our culture, our identity, and this. But later on, we realized that communities also needs to be empowered to be able to make informed decision, whether as a student or whether as a migrant or whether as a refugee or as a student. So I started working in mentoring role in that area by organizing training workshop for community in various areas of mental health or digital health or during COVID time we conducted many webinars. So COVID was a big event in the sense that migrant communities could not handle. Nobody could handle COVID, but migrant community was especially more prone to this COVID, and they were also very vulnerable. The research later on showed that migrant communities are suffering mentally much more after COVID or during COVID. So, and mental health is something which people ignored initially in our culture, mental health we never discussed.
Correct.
We thought it's all right. For various reasons. Firstly, we were ignorant. Secondly, if we discuss, it is taken very negatively. It is stigmatized. Mental health means पागल हो गया ये।
पागल उसको लगता है कि उससे हम लोग वीक फील कर
वीक तो स्पेशली लड़कियों में लड़कों में भी मतलब पेरेंट्स प्रोटेक्शन ये नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है, कल ठीक हो जाएगा, परसों ठीक हो जाएगा, मंदिर चले जाओ, यहाँ चले जाओ, बाहर लोगों से बात करो, सब ठीक हो जाएगा, सबको होता है. Why do you worry? It's part and parcel of stress. There's nothing wrong. So after COVID, people realized, no, mental health is something beyond stress. Or if you don't handle it properly, it can go to anxiety and then to severe depression and then to mental illness and bipolar disorder. But having said that, इतने इवेंट के बाद भी it's a treatable disease. It's not something which is not this thing, but it's poorly understood. But it is treatable, So if you early diagnose, so I found that during COVID, so I wrote a book about COVID. The reason is because people didn't know about COVID. This was the first एनिमल वायरस, फर्स्ट टाइम जोनोटिक वायरस हम कहते हैं. तो नया वायरस था, नया वैक्सीन बना, तो लोगों में भी साइंटिफिक कम्युनिटी को भी थोड़ा सा वाज स्ट्रगलिंग टू कम विद द वैक्सीन कोर्स. और उसके बाद जब कम्युनिटी को लेने के लिए कहा तो मेनी कंपनीज कम फॉरवर्ड डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ वैक्सीन, लॉट ऑफ कंफ्यूजन. फिर गवर्नमेंट लॉकडाउन, और विक्टोरिया इज द लॉन्गेस्ट कैपिटल, लॉकडाउन कैपिटल. तो यहाँ पे फिर विक्टोरिया इज अ मल्टीकल्चरल कैपिटल. आपने देखा होगा यहाँ देयर वर मेनी माइग्रेंट्स हियर, करेक्ट, कंपेयर टू अदर ब्रिस्बेन एंड अदर प्लेसेस.
yes.
So I saw that gap in the knowledge. So we thought we should write a book about what is COVID and how communities should understand and what it means to them. So we wrote a book on COVID. And after COVID, जैसा आपने कहा कि mental health was the biggest, what do you call, outcome of mental COVID. The other challenges.
Mentally disturbed काफी लोग
Mentally, अभी तक लोग उससे नहीं निकल पा रहे हैं, क्योंकि जो वैक्सीनेशन का जो
रिवर्स इम्पैक्ट हुए
रिवर्स इम्पैक्ट अभी भी लोग स्टडी कर रहे हैं. अभी भी लोग कह रहे हैं कि मेरे को ऐसा हो गया, डायबिटीज हो गया, ब्लड प्रेशर बढ़ गया, या माय हार्ट अटैक इज इंक्रीज्ड और व्हाटएवर, इज दे आर ऑल ब्लेमिंग टू वैक्सीन.
ऑफ कोर्स.
So we realized people are going through the mental challenges. So we thought we'll write a book. Not only on mental health, we realized that mental health is a secondary thing. Firstly, aapka emotional well-being is very important. Every morning when you get up, you feel good or bad. From the tea you take in the bed to the whole day you go through the office, come back home. So your emotions is a roller coaster ride. You go through different. So a lot of people say emotions is all right, but emotion is the first step of mental health. So if you know how to, what is emotion, and if you know how to handle emotion, then you can handle stress.
Correct.
Then you can handle anxiety. So it's more prevention approach. तो हमने कहा तो एक इंस्टीट्यूट है, इमोशनल वेलबींग इंस्टीट्यूट जेनेवा में, तो उसका मैं डेप्यूटी चेयर हूँ. तो वी ऑर्गेनाइज इंटरनेशनल कांग्रेस कन्वेंशन ऑन मेंटल हेल्थ. सो द सेकंड कन्वेंशन वाज हेल्ड इन केरला इन दिसंबर. तो उस टाइम हमने ये किताब लॉन्च किया था. इसमें 18 चैप्टर्स हैं. सो प्रोमिनेंट साइंटिस्ट ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड दे कंट्रीब्यूटेड चैप्टर.
कितना टाइम डॉक्टर साहब इसको लगा बुक्स को लिखने के लिए?
इसको पूरा, अब मेरा अपना 2 चैप्टर है, लेकिन यहाँ पे देयर मेनी चैप्टर्स. सो आई थिंक इट टुक अस 2 years प्रोजेक्ट.
2 years to write this
टू ब्रिंग एवरीवन टुगेदर एंड लॉन्च दिस.
तो जब ये बुक लिखी तो जो इनमें बाकी लोगों ने के जो कंट्रीब्यूशन हो, कोई ऐसे भी थे जिनके पास इस चीज में एक्सपर्टीज थी कि बुक्स कैसे लिखी जाती हैं?
हाँ, ऑफ कोर्स दे वर ऑल एकेडमिक्स.
ओके.
ऑल एकेडमिक, क्लिनिकल और कम्युनिटी वर्कर्स हु हैव वर्कड इन दिस मेंटल हेल्थ.
अंडरस्टूड. तो डॉक्टर साहब ये तो हो गया आपकी बात सारी आज तक की बुक्स होगी जो पुरानी आपने किया. एक आपने लेटेस्ट चीज स्टार्ट किया कॉल्ड अमोन. तो हम चाहते हैं कि आप थोड़ा सा उसके बारे में बताएं.
ये अमोन का फुल फॉर्म ऑस्ट्रेलिया मल्टीकल्चरल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नेटवर्क. तो जैसे आपसे अभी मैं बता रहा था कि इन द लास्ट 30 years आई हैव एस्टैब्लिश्ड मोर देन 7 ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इन डिफरेंट एरियाज for different purpose, and they all are successful. They're all doing fantastic. The work is growing and the communities are connected. Lekin I have realized that talking to Indian community or Nepalese community or Pakistani community or any community, Bangladeshi community, I realized they're all working they all come here as a migrant, and they all have the same issues. They all are struggling, either as a student or as a skilled migrant or as a non-skilled migrant. Cultural dissimilarity, language issues, all there's a lot of issues. Lekin they don't want to work together. I think there are boundaries where the Indians say the like Punjabi community will not be working with the Bengali community, will not be. So I realized that unless we unite our common issues and our common voice for big issues, for our well-being, mental well-being, physical well-being, for migrant issues, government will not take us very seriously. So I started talking to Manoj, and then I started talking to other people. And Manoj and me decided that I think it's time that we establish this organization. So we did a pre-launch. We invited 50 organizations, 20, 30, 50 organizations come and we explained. So do you want to unite, to be recognized and to be working together as a force in this country and also be recognized as a partner to government? तो सबने कहा ये तो बड़ी अच्छी बात है. And we shared our this thing, and also we formally launched, and Minister Julian Hill, Honorable Minister Julian Hill, Federal Assistant Minister on Malay, he also came, and we gave a presentation. Said the migrants are now interested to work together, to partner with government as a force with a unified voice, beyond their national boundaries. India, Bangladesh, nothing, but as a migrant. इसी तरह इसका नाम भी हमने ऑस्ट्रेलिया मल्टीकल्चरल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नेटवर्क रखा.
तो बेसिकली ये तो आप लोग एस्टेब्लिश आपने बोला कि यूनिटी यूनाइट करिए सबका. तो ये बेसिकली भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में करती क्या है बेसिकली, अगर सिंपल वो भाषा में बताना चाहे?
तो जैसे हमने अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के स्ट्रक्चर के अंतर्गत हमने काउंसिल स्ट्रक्चर डेवलप किया है. जैसे हमने मेंटल हेल्थ काउंसिल, who will be looking after mental health issues, working together. There's a business council which will be looking out, helping the migrant community struggling with the enterprising, the small businesses, and this mentoring them to.
तो डिफरेंट आपने एक मतलब ग्रुप्स बना दिए, अपने अपने एक डिपार्टमेंट बना दिए, तो वो लुक फॉर द डिफरेंट जो इश्यूज हैं, जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं. तो कहने का मतलब है कोई बिजनेस है या कोई माइग्रेंट्स को इशू आता है, सो दे कैन कांटेक्ट अमोन.
Yeah. Amon will guide to the right council structure. So if you are working with the men, if you have an issue with the mental health or gender equality or this, there we have an women's group as well. So we'll connect them to that group. And that group is not an Amon's group. That's that the team is from different organizations.
Understood.
So it's within itself, it's a very diverse.
So Amon is a bridge that will connect the person with that specific group, अगर जिसके जो भी उनको असिस्ट करेगा. तो डॉक्टर साहब आपकी बात ये मेरे को अच्छी इसलिए लगी जो आपने बोला कि अमोन का एक ब्रिज है ये. अभी प्रॉब्लम्स है, सोल्यूशन भी है, लोगों को पता सोल्यूशन है, पर हाउ टू अप्रोच दैट सोल्यूशन वो उनको नहीं पता. आई थिंक वो अमोन वो एक गैप कवर करेगा उस चीज को लेके कि अगर आपको कांटेक्ट किया आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन तो पीपल विल नो कि भी सोल्यूशन है, पर पड़ा कहाँ पे है. अमोन विल गाइड अस.
Amon will be a facilitator. Amon will also be a collaborator. Amon will also bring expertise from outside or from within the team. So, for example, if you want to work in the domestic violence or there are mental health issues, so we ask our team to develop a grant proposal. There's a lot of government funding to work. So without funding, you cannot work. Volunteer work, that will go apart. So we write a grant proposal and we get funded. And with that funded, we give it to the team and then we develop a program, whether it's a 6-month program or 1-year program. It has to be sustainable. So once you get that going with different diverse community, you get more feedback and then you apply for more funding and slowly you develop a network and team and then go deeper with this issue and then generate data. Whenever you organize a workshop, we generate our own data. For example, हम mental health के लिए कहेंगे, तो we develop a questionnaire. We ask them to fill in what age group, what ethnicity, what country you come from, and what are the issues. So we design scientifically. तो वो feedback हम जब data लेते हैं उसका हम analysis करके we will share with the government. That is the ultimate purpose. Because it's a only new organization, but we want it to be evidence-based organization which will create its own data on national issues, whether in any issues we face, and then we give it to the government and also share with other organizations.
Understood. तो डॉक्टर साहब ये एक हुआ, देखो आपने काफ़ी चीज़ें अपनी लाइफ में सीखी, आपके पास बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सपीरियंस है और आप हाईएस्ट पोजीशन पे हो जिनके साथ मैंने आज तक पॉडकास्ट किया है, क्योंकि आपके पास इतनी नॉलेज होनी, इतना एक्सपीरियंस होना और ऐसी कंट्री से आना जहाँ पे उस टाइम पे ये बातें नहीं करी जाती थी. आप उस टाइम पे भी हाईएस्ट पोजीशन पे थे, आज भी हाईएस्ट पोजीशन पे हो. तो देखें आपको देख के कोई काफ़ी सारे लोग हैं जिनके पास हैं या बाकी डिफरेंट बैकग्राउंड से, who wants to come to Australia or who wants to stay there or where whatever, but they want to do something in that specific field or they want to grow. तो आपको जो आपका क्या मानना है या आपका क्या लेसन है उनके लिए जो एक हाईएस्ट पोजीशन पे जाना चाहता है? क्योंकि क्या होता है ना, फॉर एग्जांपल आपने एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ज्वाइन की, यू बिकम अ एज ए एम्प्लॉय, यू स्टार्ट मैनेजर, यू डोंट थिंक हाउ टू बिकम अ डायरेक्टर और द सीईओ. फॉर एग्जांपल आपकी थिंकिंग वहाँ पे नहीं जाती. तो आप में ऐसा क्या था अलग कि आपको लगा कि यार मेरे को हाईएस्ट पोजीशन ही चाहिए?
हम्म।
तो आप उनके लिए भी क्या बोलना चाहोगे? जो यहाँ तक पहुँचते नहीं है, जहाँ उनकी थिंकिंग नहीं है कि वो अपनी थिंकिंग को कैसे ग्रो करें भाई, थिंक अबाउट द हाईएस्ट पॉइंट इन दैट ऑर्गनाइजेशन आल्सो।
So most of the migrants which I have seen are skilled migrants. They come as an engineers or doctors
करेक्ट।
or researchers or teachers so when they come here, they remain in their field, technical field. So when you want to grow your career, you have to diversify your expertise. So Australia gives you a lot of opportunities. Even if you are a nurse, if you want to go to management, if you are an engineer, if you want to management, you have to do certain other courses and then you have to find out where you want to be in 5 years time. So there requires a mentoring भी जरूरी है. So जब आदमी शुरू में यहाँ पे आता है तो for he or she, the first thing is to get permanent residency.
करेक्ट।
After that, they want to settle down and buy a house and then keep the job
Correct.
intact. They're not taking a risk to go out to do a lot of things. But after 10 years, when they are settled down and their family has a job, they have a job, it becomes more routine, then they start getting a little bit frustrated because it becomes so routine. So they want to grow then. So that time you need to know with what you have gained so far, your experience or expertise, are you wanting to continue in that path or what you want to achieve? So you have to start asking your question and then see what degree you have and what are the other compatible areas where you can grow your career in a different perspective and then acquire that refreshing courses or certificate diploma degrees. A lot of engineers nowadays, they do MBA.
Correct.
If you want to go to governance, the management, you have to do MBA. So if you want to go to the business, you have to do business. Yeah.
Correct.
So degrees. And so I think migrant community, I have seen they're very good in businesses. In this country, finding a job in the technical area is sometimes limited because they're not. Australia is not a big industry country like America. In Sydney, you may, but in Victoria, or in Canberra, very difficult to get industrial jobs.
Correct.
So you have to start enterprising your own businesses. So for that, you have to, जैसे आपने अभी मुझे कहा था podcast से पहले कि you acquired a law degree, after coming here because you wanted to go to the migration business. So something similar, you have to, after you settle down, even not only you should also ask your wife where she wants to grow. So, and then find out the opportunity and look for the mentor. Say, for example, if you want to go to a business, talk to your seniors, through your networking or through some contacts, say, can I do this and how long does it take? So there are a lot of mentoring because in Australia, अभी आपका फर्स्ट जनरेशन जैसे हम लोग अपने आप को फर्स्ट जनरेशन कहते हैं, there are a large number of those people who are either retired or they are about to retire or they're still working. They can be a good source of mentoring for people like you, who just come in and wants to grow your business. So, but after you step in, you will grow yourself.
Correct.
But during the transition, I think
You need someone, right?
you need someone mentoring and also find out what you really want and look towards yourself and ask. Early in our times, getting a PR, getting a citizenship, getting a house was good enough for the first generation. They didn't even invest into property, one or two. But nowadays, younger generation look differently. They want to grow. They want to have, more career path and more challenge and opportunity. So I think that's the way, I think.
थैंक यू डॉक्टर साहब, आपने जो बोला थिंक काफ़ी लोग इससे इंस्पायर होंगे, स्पेशली जो नेपाल से हैं कि वे अगर एक नेपलिस 30 साल पहले आके यहाँ से यहाँ पहुँच सकता है, वाई नॉट? अगर हम आज के टाइम पे हैं तो आज के टाइम पे टेक्नोलॉजी भी बहुत फास्ट हो चुकी है, ईजी हो जा चुका है, अप्रोचेबल हो चुकी है सोशल मीडिया के चक्कर में। अगेन वी वांट टू थैंक यू डॉक्टर साहब कि आपने अपना जो एक्सपीरियंस शेयर किया, जो आपने अचीवमेंट्स किए हैं, एंड वी वांट टू विश यू द गुड लक जो आप फ्यूचर में करना चाह रहे हो, एंड thank you, sir.
No, of course, I forgot to mention there is also organization called Victoria Multicultural Commission. I think they are looking up the multicultural diversity of this country, and that's a statutory authority. They connect to the migrant community. They also provide, could be a good contact point if you want to join them. There are a lot of volunteer work. So I think in Australia, people who are struggling in the early phase, I also advise them to go to volunteer, because even if it's unpaid for some time, for 3 months or 4 months, it brings you connectivity. It brings you networking, you know. So instead of just waiting to get the right job, sometime you have to pick up a job which may not be of your choice, but that will connect you. So likewise, volunteer also, I think, is highly respected in this country. So come out, do volunteer, do develop networking, talk to people. There's a multicultural capital, you know, Victoria. Even in Australia-wise, you know, I want to encourage them to come out, you know, and just open yourself. Be extrovert, you know, just don't feel shy. Don't feel low esteem that you are a migrant, your skin color is different, your accent is not good. What will other people say? I think doesn't matter. As long as you come out, you have a little bit of experience and knowledge, you can always learn from others. So don't be shy. You know, just go out within your community, outside your community, or even talking to the main community in Australia. There's always a help.
कहने का मतलब कि आपके पास करेज होना चाहिए, मैटर नहीं करता आपका कलर क्या है, what you know, what you don't know, but cause life is all about the learning, so you always learn from someone.
Yeah, you have to take risk, or mean to say, you have to take, be open to know, and I think nothing stopping you, just coming out and talking and sharing your experience.
Thank you sir, again share करने के लिए experience. We wish you good luck, and I hope कोई ना कोई आपसे सीखेगा, इसी से इंस्पायर होगा कि अगर आप यहाँ पहुँच सकते हो तो हम क्यों नहीं पहुँच सकते. But again, we wish you good luck, and again, thank you for describing Amon as well, so people who are struggling, so they can contact you guys regarding their problems.
Thank you, Satish, for giving me this opportunity through your podcast to say something about as a first generation migrant to our younger generation coming to Australia. I think Australia is the best country in the world. It gives you everything what you're looking for. Just be patient, be open, believe in yourself. You will reach to your destination.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.